with Chloe Love, great entrepreneur, boss, all around boss, female chick. Chloe Love, tell everybody how you doing.
I'm doing great, man. How's everybody doing? How you doing?
I'm finally got my shit together over here. How you doing?
I'm ecstatic.
Yeah, so tell us some of the things that you do.
Well, most people who know me as Chloe Love, I am one of the founders and the CEO of Brook Brothers.
Okay.
I manage my producers, which are also, they go by Brook Brothers. They're artists and producers, as well as I run a nonprofit organization. Those are the two main things that people know I do, but I own multiple companies, so I would be considered a serial entrepreneur.
Oh, that's the first time I ever heard that into word serial entrepreneurs, and I'm sure she got that whole milk in that motherfucker. So as far as like the non for profit, what could tell us what that is and the name and what you do?
So we have Brook Brothers Development, and there are three programs. One is Micro Moguls, which we create a micro society amongst high school kids in the 11th and the 12th grade. And we allow them to play different roles in the entertainment industry, from PR, artists, um, producers, engineers, and they create a project by the end of the semester that they present to us.
Okay.
And the second one is Women with Voices, which I have my event on Friday, March
Yes,
30th.
it is.
And it's a women's empowerment program that unites women from all ages, races, and social statuses. So I felt like a lot of our women empowerment programs were like for bosses, or you got to be an entrepreneur. Whereas with my nonprofit, I want us to be able to meet any woman wherever she's at in her point of life. So if you're a new mother, if you're single, if you're going through domestic violence, we should be able to meet every woman at whatever point that she's at in her life and be able to support her and unite.
And provide services.
Yes, absolutely.
So what made you start being a boss? Like, what was it about your life that said, I gotta get mine, fuck this?
I don't know. My mom just said I was born that way. She said I've been like this since I was little.
You
I
got
know.
siblings?
I have two brothers.
You was bossing them around, wasn't you? You was telling them all kinds of shit to do, right?
We're 10 and 11 years apart, so that was just natural.
Okay.
I'm all up in their business. But yeah, I was just like that. The craziest thing I always tell people, it was Cruella DeVille. I just like loved how she had her Cadillac with her half black and half white hair and all her furs. And I used to tell.
That's a first.
Yeah, it was Cruella DeVille.
A villain
at that. And I used to tell my mom when she'd piss me off, when you come to my house, I'm gonna sick my dogs at you at my mansion gates. 6 years old, I used to tell her that. So I always knew I was gonna be like someone who had a mansion and gates with dogs and stuff like that. So
I'm not gonna front. Like, most people will take that as kind of something like negative, but I really don't, because I ain't gonna front. Cruella DeVille was fly.
She
Saw
was
how
fly.
She had the fucking hair going.
Yeah, it's a fact.
With the fur, had the mansion, and just talking all slow and everything.
I mean, she was the bad guy because she wanted the dogs for fur, but at the end of the day, we wear the dogs, we wear the fur.
Yeah.
Cruella was just the supplier. When you really break it down, she really wasn't the villain. She was the plug.
Actually the plug.
She was the supplier.
I gotta watch 101 Dalmatians again. That shit was crazy. She was the plug, though. I gotta watch that again. Yeah, right? I'm looking at this bitch the whole
Yeah,
not you, this
yeah,
bitch.
no, it's
Cruella,
fine.
Right? I'm looking at her totally different now.
Yeah, Cruella was the supplier.
Yeah, she was definitely was. So I remember talking in hindsight, we was having a conversation, and you was also talking about financial advice and things like that. So what are your aspirations towards that?
Well, I want to touch on something you said earlier,
Okay.
and that's about having multiple streams of income.
Yes.
So my creed of life is that you cannot have financial freedom unless you have multiple streams of income. Warren Buffett said it, Mark Cuban said it, and if you aspire to be anywhere close to those levels, you have to take that advice. And I also like that you said you can be more than one thing. I have 2 master's degrees. One is in entertainment and one is in policy writing. So I can actually write policies that turn to laws. And I still deal with the music business.
See how
so
everything fits with each
yeah,
other, though?
you can
like?
definitely be that. You can definitely do that. And my businesses would be considered a conglomerate because some of them have nothing to do with each other. I had a credit repair business. I had a legal process serving business. I have the recording studio. I have a boutique. And credit has nothing to do with fashion. But so it's definitely a conglomerate of different things.
Wow, like I'm speechless because I mean, I come across a lot of entrepreneurs and you don't hear them talking or even thinking that. They just focus on the actual product and not really, and they I kind of all do because like even with policy, you making laws to run your shit.
Absolutely.
You know, you making these personally, but you can also do it to change the world. And
Absolutely.
you have to have the financial stability and the knowledge. People don't go in there not realizing what it is to invest and then come back with it and profits and all of that stuff.
But it's important that you even knew that. A lot of people don't know that policy writing can be used on the private sector to create the policy and the structure of a business. So that's actually what I did with it. I didn't go public the way I planned on and worked in the criminal justice system. I used my policy writing understanding to write the policy in which book brothers would flow.
That would be dope to incorporate that with these kids too. Have them learning policy writing.
Absolutely.
Have them become the future leaders of this world. Children are our goddamn future, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So Brook Brothers, how did that come about?
Well, I met Swiss and Bellboy. Bellboy's not here today. I met Swiss at a party actually, and I think we had a friend in common that was telling me he did music, or he told me he did music. And at that time, I was actually writing songs. I had got a little deal with a production company that was signed to Sony, but I didn't go through with it. My dad didn't like whatever the deal was. And I'd stopped for a while. So when I met him, I'm like, I'd love to come on board and write songs with you guys. And Swish just saw something different in me, him and Bellboy. And it was like, nah, we need you to manage us. We need you to be the face of this. And I was like, I'm going to school for public policy at that point. I don't have nothing to, I just want to write music. And he didn't take no for an answer. He just started telling people I was his manager, like, and sending people to ask me questions.
You gotta own it. You
He definitely owned
it. That's it.
He owned it. And then Silver came on board a few years after, and we had a few artists that we were pushing that, you know, we went separate ways with, a lot of music placements, and 7 years later we're here about to build our second studio that's going to be bigger, better, and
because I heard a lot about, you know, I haven't been there personally, and I'm so sorry that I haven't, but I heard a lot about the whole Brook Brothers studio, and I did, like, y'all was really ringing bells in the streets. I'm not even saying that to be talking shit.
Yeah.
I really did. Y'all probably seen a little comment, oh, why did it go there so bad?
It's cool. They gonna get a chance to come to the new one soon.
Yeah. So moving forward, I mean, I can't wait. We got to stop this. But let's go back to the entrepreneur part. We're going to get to the Brook Brothers. We got a whole meeting, a whole interview with them. But back to the entrepreneurship. Where do you see yourself in 10 years or 2 years from now? Because things is always changing. So I say 2 years.
Yeah, I don't look at time the same way other people do. So a day may be something for someone else, when time is just a series of events that take place that either change you or don't.
Wow.
So I don't look at time as minutes or years. We had a 5-year plan that I executed in 5 months when I got us our studio. And I know that in 2 years, I would either be in the 100 millions or I will be the next youngest Black billionaire. That's my saying is one thing's for sure, two things for certain. It may be tomorrow. I got an app that we're working on. Sell the app tomorrow for couple of hundreds of millions and still have a percentage. They push it. I'm a billionaire in a year. So you never really know. Every day is just a day for opportunity. But I know that within that time span, a lot of the seeds that I've planted will be watered and blossomed by then.
I kind of love your brain right now. You're making me fall in love. You're killing me softly with your song, yo. It really is. Now, I always ask artists this, but I'm kind of interested what would your answers be. Who is your top 5 entrepreneurs, dead or alive?
So Mark Cuban is my number one. And it's weird to people because I know Mark's story.
Who's Mark Cuban?
Mark Cuban owns the Mavericks.
Okay.
And
I didn't know that. So
yeah.
You played me onto some shit.
And he's from Shark Tank too, but he's known mainly for owning that basketball team. He was poor, and he used to sell garbage bags from door to door when he was young. He
Okay.
got into the top 3 business schools, and he went to the cheapest one so he can pay his way through school.
Wow.
And he did his first company, a startup. He sold it, made his first few millions, and he just went from there. So he's really self-made from the penny up. Oprah, of course, not for the obvious reasons, but she's from Chicago. I'm from Brooklyn. Both of them used to be the Myrtle Capitals, and for her to come from as far as she is, gaining her riches through her own production company. It was that she owned her production company that got Oprah, or the financial stability that she had, and seeing her do that really gave the notion that you can come from anywhere and do anything. So I always loved Oprah
And
for that.
and against all odds, because they was
Against
trying
all
to play
odds.
her too.
Absolutely.
When she was first coming on, they was talking about the way she looked. They criticized Oprah crazy and she still remained focused and outshined the naysayers.
Absolutely.
Her eyes was too separated, her nose was too big. She has an afro.
She's too big.
She's too fat now. After they couldn't get past her facial looks, like she went through a lot. So yeah, so 3.
I would say the third person, it would be Warren Buffett, because a lot of his jewels I go by, like having multiple streams of income if you really want to possess financial freedom. And people don't understand the difference between financial stability and financial freedom. So that's a whole nother.
Break it down.
So financial stability means that I can take a trip whenever I want. My bills are paid. I'm not living check to check, but it is attached to a particular thing. So if that thing goes, so does that financial stability.
Okay.
Whereas financial freedom is while I'm talking to you right now, money's being made for me.
Okay.
So I can
That's
freely move
residual
about.
income?
Yes, residual income.
Yeah.
So I can move about at how I choose to, because there are multiple streams of income where if one falls, the other one will support me still.
Okay.
So that's the difference between stability and freedom.
4.
Who would be number 4? I like Damon, the FUBU owner.
Okay.
And I like him
Shout out
for
to Puma and the whole FUBU deal.
Yeah.
Y'all doing big things with Puma right now.
Absolutely. I love him because he took a urban. He's on Shark Tank too with Mark Cuban. So to take an urban brand like that, we also have a clothing line coming out, and to bring it to a hundreds of millions of dollars was untold of. This was like for the big designers back in the day. If you weren't Gucci or something, nobody was looking at no numbers like that. And to come from an urban market and do that, that's just, he's an icon for that. And his business mind and his business structure on how he thinks. He's actually doing, I think, a seminar out here this week or soon. Is amazing. And the last entrepreneur is actually someone that a lot of people probably wouldn't know. His name is, he's a pastor. I think it's John Maxwell. I think it's Maxwell, definitely, John Maxwell. And he writes all these business and leadership books. And I identify with him so much because he taught me the 5 levels of leadership.
What's the 5 levels?
So level 1 is leaders are born, not made. So you can make managers, you can make supervisors, but you can't create a leader. That's just something you're born with. Level 2 is being able to invoke your leadership on people, where people will follow you, they will listen, they'll allow you to guide them. Level 3 is having the type of rapport that if you say something like Oprah, she says a book and it sells out. So that's credibility. Number 4 is being able to identify other leaders and make them leaders. So I can see a strength in you that maybe you don't see, but you're born with it, and I can help you get to your leadership status. And number 5 is when your leader now turns around and creates another leader. So Oprah created, I think it was Dr. Phil, and Dr. Phil put Dr. Oz on. So she ascended to level 5.
Yeah. Wow. I just,
It's John Maxwell, yeah. So that's him for me.
like, I got put onto a lot of shit today. I feel like empowered, like I could go out there and about to be a billionaire.
Of course
by
you
now.
can.
I know, right?
You got magic in your blood, girl. Of course you can.
I feel it already tingling through my veins. I do. Yeah, so moving forward, you say you don't live with space and time. Anything can happen in a second. And I like that mind set, because a lot of people undermine themselves. Like I see that all the time, where people be like, well, I'm gonna do this, and they already got it done. They just don't even know it, and they
Mm-hmm.
creating mass hysteria trying to accomplish, and it's like already happened, bitch. Get to the next thing already. And I
Absolutely.
see that all the time. That shit even happened with me. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I had this master plan. I'm gonna do this, this, that, and the third. Even with radio, and I've accomplished so much within. It's about. I think next week is gonna be our anniversary. Yeah, coming up
Mm-hmm.
the first week of April. I started live at media. Period,
Mm-hmm.
and what I've done this year in media was fucking awesome. Like nobody can take that from me.
Absolutely.
I've seen people work years to be in front of people that I've been in front of, talk to people that I've talked to, be at certain events. So I'm kind of proud of that. And
Not kinda. You should be all the way
yeah,
proud.
I'm all the way proud of that.
Nothing you
You
do is
know,
little.
it was amazing. I had a dope ad, and I'm trying to like quadruple that this year. Like I'm trying to really take over, go to like a major network, all that stuff.
And it's more than possible.
Yeah.
It's just how you look at it. You gotta this. We're in an oversaturated market.
Yeah, we
So
are.
the best way I always say to apply industrial psychology is to also think like the consumer. What do you want to see that you haven't seen? Implement that in yourself.
Yeah.
How do I stand out from a crowd of people? What's gonna make me different? What's my angle? You know?
I think being me is my angle because you don't see me out there.
Absolutely.
Motherfuckers be too stiff in front of the camera. Or even if they trying to be live, you see the right through the like she trying too hard to be live. Or she probably saw cha-cha and was like, I need to pick it up a notch. But it just didn't work for you, honey. You still look stiff. Put some slides, some oil to me, cause you sound fucking right. You sound stiff and you're squeaking out there. You're squeaking.
So what would be dope would be that you can actually set up classes or workshops on to tell people how to perform or how to speak and etiquette and inflections in your voice. And you could probably do podcasts or videos that go viral that way. And that makes you the leader of that. See, I'm saying just by being you, that's how you be you and allow yourself to stand out. Who's showing everybody how to do that want to do it? That could be you.
Look at that, gems for free 99. It don't get no better than that. So we're gonna wrap our segment up because I want to we're gonna talk more with you in the Brook Brothers, but I want you to have your moment for the future entrepreneurs out there. Is there any message that you would like to tell them coming up and maybe scared or don't know where to start?
Yeah, definitely. You cannot have big success without big risk. Don't be afraid of risk. And all the things that you've learned through social engineering and society, it's all fake. So free your mind first. If you can't free your mind to accept information and to see it on a different level, it don't even make sense to start. If you start something saying, I'm gonna just do this little show, I hear a lot of people say that, I got this little thing going on, it's gonna stay
and
little.
leave them little ass people alone.
Leave them alone.
Always got some little ass shit to say. Like, go sit your little ass down. You're not ready for this little ass come up, right? Like,
that's
right?
it, for real.
They negative. They mad because they don't have the ability. Because I've been around them little ass people before who always got some little shit to say and always calling everything so little. Like,
yeah, I seen your little show. I heard you got a little studio.
Yeah.
My shit got 2 studios in there. How's little?
You know what I'm saying?
I got an A and B room. How's little?
Well, I saw your little ass apartment with them big ass roaches. You need to get that ass, sweetheart. Yes, don't worry about my little ass show.
That's how it be, man. People just don't know how to they can't see it for themselves. So they're upset that you allowed yourself to think big or dream big. That's
and
all
keep
it
dreaming
is.
big. Fuck these people out
That's a
here.
fact.
Yeah, we're gonna definitely come back. We're gonna play a little video of the Brook Brothers.